G'day everyone, welcome back. For those that are new here, my name is Kerry, a woodturner from Brisbane, Australia. And these videos, I'm going to call them production run videos, simply because at the moment, I don't have time to set aside to make big production video of a single piece. So instead of doing that, I thought I would include you in a lot more of what I'm actually doing on a daily basis. And at the moment, I'm currently processing a heap of bowls to take into the stockist in Brisbane City there, where I have all my products of bowls and platters and things like that. They've also requested some spoons, plates, toast plates, salad servers, salad claws, and knives. So that will be interesting. So we'll work our way through those. And these type of videos, I want to just flick the cameras on to get you involved a little bit more in what I'm up to. This here is my little checklist of what I want to run through in the video. So I'm going to put that down now, but the VersaFlow and Glenn Lucas. So you might have seen them at the top. So I had two really huge things happen, one bad and one really, really good. The VersaFlow, 3M VersaFlow. This is the battery charging dock. So the battery sits in there like that. I'll get to turning in just a second. What I really wanted to do is show you how I turn these cores. You might have seen Glenn Lucas do it as well, a lot of it. But this is the 3M VersaFlow and that's the charging dock. And I was turning away and I could smell like a burning smell coming from over on the table. And I looked over and I wondered what it was, and it was this little thing here was smoking, and just there, where there's a little copper prong was melted. So I quickly got rid of that, went to try and fix it, and then I thought, you know what, if it catches on fire or something like that, I'd never forgive myself and I probably wouldn't be covered insurance. So ordered a new one. So $320 for a new cradle and $65 for a face shield that I'll wear for sanding these. And in the next video, I'm going to show you a sanding video. But I had some really, really great news this week as well. I'm not going to use the mounting plate, the Glenn Lucas mounting plate, because I just want to get this video rolling for you. But I normally would do that because if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is it here. It's got rubber on those sides there, gap in the middle. So that's the mounting plate. There's a video online of how to do it. You might see this here. So that is a tenon sizing indicator. So I was in the shop. I'm just going to do this whilst talking. I was in the shop working away, and Nadine, I came in for lunch, and Nadine said, "Oh, did you order something?" And I said, "Oh, what do you mean?" And she said, "Oh, there's a package here." And I looked at it and it was from Ireland. And I said, "No, I haven't ordered anything." And when I opened it up, I'm just balancing the bowl up whilst we're talking. That looks pretty good. Just put my thumb there on the tool rest and make sure the gap's all even all the way around. It looks really good. And I'll true that top up. But I might just go a little bit towards the top. So this will be like a little bit more of a live session as well. Not too much. Yeah, that's better. So, was in for lunch, saw the package on the bench, and I opened it up, and it was a heap of gifts from Glenn Lucas, and it absolutely blew me away. You guys all know that I emphatically watch his material and study him and the way he goes about doing things and running his business, and it's he inspires so many turners out there, including myself. So thank you so much, Glenn. And as I'm turning here, you'll see what came in the package, but just for starters, the GL6, which is the bottom bowl gouge, M42 steel. It's razor sharp, absolute beauty. The GL5, sorry, I wrote it on the back so I didn't forget, GL5, and that is a 45-degree bevel tool and razor sharp, all honed in the middle, M42 steel, sharp as, and the radius edge skew. It's an absolute beauty, because you all know I cut my tenons, which you'll see in just a sec, with the radius, or with the skew, and now I've got that radius edge skew. It's just awesome. And the tool post height adjuster. or height setter. I've set this to my 16mm bowl gouge, so you know when I raise the tool rest up and down to get the tenon to cut the tenons, I won't have to worry about that now. Or when I need to raise the tool rest up, it's going to be running perfect every single time. So I'm absolutely blown away. I've set this tenon sizing indicator ready to go, so when I cut the tenons, it's sized up for my chucks that I use. So it's an absolute treat to use and speeds up your workflow. Just going to check the speed, see how it's running. See how it's running nice there. And we're going to get straight into it because I need to get this product moving. I'm just going to true this up. So this is the 19mm bowl gouge by Woodcut Tools, and I mainly use this big guy just to get everything running really nice. Get everything running really nice and true. I was a bit rubbish on the end there, but should be right. Looking for defects, so I've got a little bit of a defect there. I've had a few little defects in a batch of these bowls. This is, I use a little bit too much, but that's PC Clear. I've had it over here before. I used this PC Clear stuff and then mixed it with a bit of black pigment to fill the holes in, so it's an epoxy. I'm noticing a few defects in these bowls, and what I try and avoid is having heaps of defects, and if they do, it just takes too long to sort of fill. But we'll keep pressing on with this one because I want to show you some stuff that I struggled with when batching out bowls. So I'm going to just find where I'm going to get this tenon now. Just going to press in there, create the ogee, get a bit of distance up my sleeve away from the tenon, and then do my push cut. Just being careful when I come up to the end there because I don't want it to splinter off and hit me. So need a bit more room there. So I'm just bringing this reel here, that reel away, so then I can get in there and then complete that push cut, because the tailstock's in the way. Just being careful when I come off the end there, but make sure I'm not going to, yeah, so I've got a hole there, not very happy about that. So we'll try the GL5 and we'll do a little shear, scrape on the side. Get rid of that little tool mark. And just bring it up where I can. I was absolutely blown away when these rocked up. I just couldn't believe it. There's that little little fault in there is being very annoying. I'm going to cut the tenon, so I'm just going to raise the tool rest up slightly and over. Using the radius edge skew, just holding it with the old strong finger. And pushing towards the headstock so the tool will be parallel with the, hold on. Will be parallel with the tailstock, so I just thought I heard or saw something in there. We're okay. When I'm pushing it in, but that's pretty well good to go there. Take that off. And now see how it's raised in the bottom there? I'm just going to quickly flatten that off and I'll show you how I quickly do that. It's with another tool. You might have seen this bad boy in that carving video, the mango carving video. It's going to create a bit of dust, which is going to be annoying. Let's get it down a bit smaller, at least, so we're not mucking around too much. Create shavings instead of dust. So how I'm going to do that, I'm just going to drive that GL5, going to drive it towards the center of the bowl. Actually, no, I won't. So just making a little tenon there. Oh, sorry, making a little stub. Take him off. Ugh. Hopefully I've still got enough in the bottom. I've been racking my brain about how to include you guys in a little bit more of what I get up to in the shop here. And this was a great idea that I also picked up off a good mate of mine, Damien from Little Warrior Shields. So I'm just going to grind this. Because I don't want that bottoming out in the chuck. Right. Take the tailstock with the beautiful tenon sizing indicator off. And I don't know if everyone's seen where I put my tailstock. It's on a block, so I've just got a big block of timbers and glued them together. So I just had scrap timbers, I'll show you. I just had scrap timbers laying around and I just glued them together, a couple of clamps on it, and that made the block. So all I do is just drop it off the side and straight onto the block. So the main reason I made that block is because I found having to bend down all the time and then lifting that back up throughout the day all the time started to get a little bit tender on the old back. So hence the reason why just that block, I usually have it over a bit closer to the side of the lathe here because I've got everything going on, cameras and this big light and that. I've actually turned the shop light off because it's actually too bright when it shines into the bowl and you can't really see what's going on. So great idea. And this, I just moved this to the banjo around and raised up and down the tool rest, and this little height setter is just awesome. Yes, thank you. It's so good. Actually, before we move on, you all might know, and I reckon Glenn Lucas saw me using my wad punches, the big steel pipe looking things. And I used to bash them out with my mallet all the time. And if you miss, you nick your fingers and it's just an absolute mess. And then I got the press, and he also sent me a 2-inch and a 3-inch wad punch, and they are awesome. They are razor sharp. And the beauty, the real cool thing about them, apart from the big bolts, and you just press down onto the bolt and that would go straight, that force would come straight down into it. When you're using a hammer, on my old ones, which were just that steel pipe, you sort of have to work your way around. So the beauty about these also is it's got that hole, and you can just, as you're pressing out your sandpaper, you just punch that through and that pops all your sandpaper out. You know, the thought of everything. So I'm very, very chuffed. You know, and when you start thinking I don't know, you don't deserve it, but really grateful that people out there like Glenn Lucas and Woodcut Tools and they believe in me and what I'm doing, and I just, yeah, so cheers. Let's get back into this. Trim this rim up, and to do that I'll use the 16mm woodcut tools bowl gouge. That's got a 45-degree angle bevel on it, and I'm just gonna, this bowl here is defected, but I'll just keep going with what I'm doing. I'm gonna trim that rim up there. And I cut down to that defect because I wanted to get rid of it a bit more. You see that there? I want to get rid of that. And you see the heel of the tool and all that? I've removed that heel and I've just got that little small bevel on there. And the reason why I do that is because it's less lag on the wood. So it's less surface area of your bevel making contact with the wood. See that fault? Oh, that's annoying. 19mm. Whereas if you have this guy, it's got such a larger contact with the timber, so the bevel is larger and it'll have more contact with the wood, creating more chance of vibration and chatter and all that business. So we removed, oh, it's still there. I'm not going to keep going, that's just, I'll have no bowl left. So let's work the inside now. Just position our tool rest in there. And we're looking over there. Cutting on centre, yeah, beauty. So you probably just saw then that I remove a lot of the bulk material with the 16mm, and then I'll come back and just finish that up. And we might have a little bit of issue with some chatter there, but we'll sort that out. We'll use the GL5 on this, the M42 steel GL5. Absolute beauty. Before I do that, I'm just going to clean that bottom up. We got a little bit of movement there, but so I had some chatter going on the inside there, and all I did was get a sharp gouge. You might have seen me, I turned the lathe speed down, and then I took my time with that cut. I really sort of slowed the cut down and then worked my way down to where the gouge can reach. And this gouge here, I'll go up, come and show you. You'll see how bloody sharp this thing is. See the edge on that tool? It is razor sharp, and all the inside is honed on the leather strop. So that's the tool that I just cleaned all that chatter up with. So that 45-degree bevel angle with the heel removed is the same as what I have on my 16mm gouge on both of them by woodcut tools, and I removed the angle simply because it's less steel in contact with the material, and that creates less vibration, less chatter, and all the rest of it, less lag or drag, whatever way you want to put it. Now I'm going to pick up the bottom bowl gouge, 60-degree bevel, same as what I've always used, 60-degree bevel on my other bowl gouge. This is the GL6 M42 steel, as the Roberts Sorby has the exact same bevel on it that I've always used, HH, or the high-speed steel on that one. So I'll get stuck into what I'm doing. And I'm just going to take that from where I finished with the 45 down to the bottom. Just going to get comfortable first. I want to finish there, so get my body ready. So I just split the difference then. I noticed that I was getting a little bit of vibration in the tool. So I just took half of the rill or half of the cut. I went back and then started again. So I wasn't taking all of it. Rub the heel of your tool and then come on to the timber. Like that. We'll turn it off, have a look. And that's looking not too bad at all. There's no chatter in that. Little bit of tool mark, but that's okay. We'll get rid of that. So that's not looking too bad. I've spoken about the defects and how I go about fixing them with coffee grounds and stuff like that in other videos. So I'll put that in the description below, but I used that epoxy on that other one. When I am working through bowls and stuff like that, this has got a fairly hectic defect in it. I typically would just put this to the side and either fix it if I had time, or I would then sell it as a second whilst it still had a fair bit of timber left in it. So I would then forward that on to another wood turner who would like to use products of epoxies and resins and things like that. And then they can go and have fun and fill the holes up and do all that business. I prefer not to sell stuff with glues and epoxies and stuff in them, because it's really hard to get that color match once you've filled it with something. So I try not to use it. So like I said, I'll grab a bowl and show you some of the stuff that I've put aside from defects. So this bowl here has got cracks all the way around the side, and it's got cracks up in the center, and they just kept going through, and I was just ripping more and more material off. And so I stopped and then put it to the side. And this is the reason why I wanted to start doing these production run videos. It allows you guys to come into the workshop with me more, but it also allows me to keep continuing doing what I'm doing in processing, but also filming and showing you the process of how I go about doing things and what I've learned along the way. I'm no expert in any of this. I just want to pass on what I'm learning to hopefully help someone else out along their journey. That's the whole purpose of this channel. On this defect business as well, obviously this guy, he's completely defected, but it's not a bad bowl, you know what I mean? Big, beautiful pine bowl. You could use some milk paint on it. Another big, beautiful bowl, you know, but obviously that's a huge old knot. And when I was turning this, after I finished turning it, I knocked that knot out. And you know, I'll put them up on my website later on, or you can contact me via my website. I'll put that on the screen down below, kerrycorney.com. Just write me an email or find me on my social media on Instagram. My handle, whatever you call it, my address on Instagram. We'll just put that on the screen as well. But they're the type of things that I try to avoid. Even when I am processing, when I'm processing timber, if they've got big cracks in them, big, you know, knots and things like that, I'll try and just avoid that, put it to the side. But if I know that I can sell it as a blank later on, and it's got a bit of character and the timber's nice and the grain's beautiful, I'll keep it and sell that later. What else was I going to show you? Yes, depth gauge. So when I'm checking the bottom of the bowl, I've made a video on how to make one of these, so go check that out as well. But it's super simple. Get a ruler, your depth gauge, put it inside your bowl like so, and then that is the bottom of the bowl. Hold your finger over the dowel there, make sure it's in the bottom, right? And then that there, and then line that up. So in the bottom there, I've got about 5 mil to the bottom of the bowl. I've still got the beauty about using a tenon on your bowl as well, is if you run into trouble and you run out of wood, you can still use that tenon in the end. You just have to sort of shape the side up a little bit, make it look pretty like you didn't make a mistake, and then use the tenon. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, I've got a heap of other stuff to make for the stockist in the Brisbane city here. In the Brisbane city, I don't know why I said it like that. I'm going to start working my way through that, as well as including you guys in these videos a lot more, because I believe this is you know, this is what wood turning is all about, being part of a community and working through things together and problem solving in a sort of, you know, a real constructive sort of way, but also being part of something other than just being in your workshop all day, being in that working silo environment. I really appreciate you watching these videos and being on this journey since the beginning. Those out there that know who I'm talking about, thank you so much. It means the absolute world to me. So yes, it's greatly appreciated. So thank you so much to all of you for watching the video. Thank you, Glenn Lucas, Woodturning, for supporting me and sending me that package. It meant the absolute world to me. I won't keep going on about that. I really appreciate it. In the next video, I'm going to show you how I sand these bowls up and use some oil on them and wet sanding, because there's a lot of people out there that I still see when they're posting photos or they might have a bowl or whatever, and they've got those sanding railway line track marks around their bowl. So I'll show you how I get rid of mine. Hopefully it'll help you as well. That's the next one, and then we'll remove some tenons, and I'll show you 4 different ways of how I remove those tenons. Cheers guys, I really appreciate you, and I will see you and talk to you all directly. Cheers.